Why are so many high-producing real estate professionals stepping away from traditional commission structures to focus on something called revenue share? Before we break down the exact math behind how this works today, if you're finding value in learning how to build a more profitable real estate business, take a second to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps me continue making content that directly impacts your bottom line. Today, we're looking directly at Real's revenue share model. I want to walk you through exactly how the tiers work, the actual dollar amounts involved, and how this structure fundamentally changes the way agents collaborate. Most of the time, when agents hear about sponsoring or attracting other agents, they completely misunderstand the mechanics. They assume it's just about getting a quick bonus or treating peers like numbers. The reality is entirely different. When you help grow a company by bringing in talented professionals, you are taking on the role of a recruiter, a regional manager, and a mentor. In a standard corporate environment, you would be paid a salary for those roles. Here, you're compensated with a percentage of the revenue generated by the people you personally help bring into the community. It is a direct financial reward for contributing to the growth of the brokerage. Before we dive into Tier 1, we need to clarify the fundamental difference between revenue share and profit share, because the industry often confuses the two. Profit share is calculated after the brokerage pays all of its expenses. That means after the office leases, the administrative salaries, the marketing budgets, and the corporate retreats are paid for, whatever is left over is split with the agents. The problem with profit share is that you have absolutely zero control over the company's expenses. If the brokerage decides to buy new furniture or expand into a pricey new building, your profit share check shrinks, even if you produce the exact same amount of volume. Revenue share is entirely different. Revenue share is taken directly from the company dollar off the top before a single bill is paid. It's a predictable, mathematical formula based on gross commission income. You never have to guess what your check will be. You can model it out on a spreadsheet because it is tied directly to production, not corporate spending habits. This predictability is why top producers are making the shift. Let's look at the exact numbers. We operate on a 5-tier revenue share model. Let's start with Tier 1. Imagine you just finished a tough cross sale with an agent on the other side of town. You realize they're incredibly sharp, but they lack support at their current office. You introduce them to our community, and they decide to move their license. Because you sponsored them, they sit on your Tier 1. You now earn 5% of their gross commission income on every single deal they close, up until they reach their annual cap. Since the cap is $12,000, 5% of their commission maxes out at $4,000 a year. Let's walk through a literal example of a transaction so you can see the math clearly. Imagine your sponsored agent closes a home and generates $10,000 in gross commission income. The agent is on an 85-15 split, so the agent takes home $8,500. The brokerage retains $1,500. Because you sponsored that agent, you earn 5% of that total $10,000 gross commission. 5% of $10,000 is $500. That $500 is paid to you directly from the brokerage's $1,500 portion. The brokerage keeps the remaining $1,000. The agent's $8,500 is completely untouched. You receive a direct deposit on the very same day the transaction closes. You get paid when they get paid. If you sponsor 5 agents and all 5 of them cap, that equals $20,000 a year in predictable, recurring revenue. And the best part is that Tier 1 is completely unlocked on day 1. You don't need to meet any specific thresholds to start earning on the people you personally sponsor. Before we move to the deeper tiers, we need to talk about how you actually attract these agents, because the mindset here is crucial. We are not building this by convincing people or using high-pressure tactics. You aren't going out to pitch. You are going out to solve problems. When you have conversations with agents, you'll find 2 paths. Path A is the agent who is already looking for a change. You help them transition calmly and professionally. Path B is the agent who isn't ready. For them, you simply listen, offer value, and leave the door open. You build a short list of leaders who trust you. You share the tools that are working for you, and the right people naturally want to align with that success. Now, let's talk about how the math scales beyond the people you personally introduce. To unlock the deeper levels of revenue share, you need to understand the concept of a frontline qualifying agent. A qualifying agent is someone who closes a minimum production threshold, specifically $3,000 in commission over a 6-month period. They are actively working and producing. The system is intentionally built this way to reward you for bringing in active producers, rather than just focusing on a high head count. You're incentivized to sponsor people who actually want to build a business, and you're equally incentivized to mentor them so they succeed. When you have 5 of these qualifying agents on your Tier 1, you unlock Tier 2. Tier 2 consists of the agents that your Tier 1 agents sponsor. When you unlock Tier 2 by having 5 producing agents on your front line, you start earning 4% of the gross commission from the agents on that second level. This amount caps at $3,200 per capping agent per year. Think about the leverage you're creating here. You introduced Sarah to the community. You mentored her, you shared your listing presentation with her, and you helped her double her business. Because of her success, Sarah attracted John to the company. Because you helped Sarah build her business to a point where she could naturally attract John, the company rewards you. You earn that 4% on John's production. As you continue to support your front line, your network grows. When you reach 10 producing agents on your first tier, you unlock Tier 3. Tier 3 pays out at 3% of gross commission. This caps at $2,400 per capping agent per year. This is the level where the compounding effect truly takes over. You're earning revenue based on the culture and the community you helped spark. It creates an ecosystem where everyone is financially motivated to help everyone else succeed. When an agent in your network has a question, you answer it. Your financial success is directly tied to their financial success. The model continues to reward deeper growth. 15 producing agents on your front line unlocks Tier 4. Tier 4 pays 2% of gross commission, capping at $1,600 per capping agent per year. Finally, having 20 producing agents on your front line unlocks Tier 5. This tier pays 1% of gross commission, maxing out at $800 per capping agent per year. When you visualize this entire structure all the way down, you start to see how a sustainable, life-changing revenue stream is built. Now, you might be thinking about how you actually support the agents you bring in down through these tiers, especially if you're busy running your own personal production. When you align with the right network, you aren't forced to become a full-time coach. The infrastructure provides the heavy lifting. You plug your sponsored agents into existing weekly masterminds, proven listing playbooks, and direct mentorship channels. You provide the relationship, and the network provides the ongoing operational support. That brings us to the most critical part of this entire model, which is the culture and the guidelines we operate under. You cannot build a sustainable revenue share organization by poaching agents or using manipulative language. That violates the core values of who we are. Our growth is entirely relationship-driven. We do not disparage other brands. We simply share what is working. We invite outside agents to our training events so they can experience the value firsthand. We post our wins, our tools, and our support systems, and we let the value speak for itself. When you focus on adding value first, the attraction happens organically. When you align with a model that shares its revenue so generously, you fundamentally change the trajectory of your career. You stop relying solely on your next closing, and you start building an asset that pays you long after the transaction is finished. If you're curious about how this math would apply to the network you already have, let's look at the numbers together. There is a link in my description below. We can hop on a quick, confidential call, map out your current production, and see exactly what revenue share could look like for your specific situation. There are no pitches and no pressure. We just look at the math and see if it makes sense for you. Drop a comment below if you have specific questions about how the tiers unlock, and I will make sure to answer them. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.